Hello everyone, Chris here from Escape 2, and this is a video about one of my favourite game series of all time, Final Fantasy X. Of course, for this Let's Play that I'm planning to do, this is going to be done on the HD Remaster version, and this is a little prelude just to sort of discuss what is going to be coming up in the actual series. So the idea is that for one of our first projects for Escape 2 proper, me and Hamza wanted to play a single-player game where the other person sort of sits in and experiences the other person playing. So for me, I've chosen Final Fantasy X. I believe Hamza is going to be playing Breath of the Wild. And the interesting thing in regards to this is that Hamza hasn't actually ever played Final Fantasy X before, so this is going to be his first time experiencing it just by watching it. And me, Final Fantasy X is probably my favourite game of all time, like I said before. As a child, I put so many hours into this game. Like, I think my save file, my first ever save file that is, in the end, for the original PS2 version, was about 2,000 plus hours. I basically 100%ed everything, so the Monster Arena, Penance, my Sphere grid was completely maxed for all characters, including empty nodes filled with extra spheres and other things. So I know my way around the game fairly well. That said, that was a long time ago. I have replayed the game quite a few times since, but not necessarily a complete 100% playthrough to that scale. Now, just to be clear, I'm not necessarily going to do that again for this playthrough. We'll have to see. A big thing is time. I'm still currently working full-time. It's just sort of trying to get what we can into the video. So this is definitely going to be a full story playthrough at least, with a huge amount of side quests, but not necessarily Dark Aeons and Penance. We'll have to see. Not necessarily all Celestial weapons either, because some of them are just tedious and annoying, like the Thunder Plains one with the lightning. I potentially will still do that. Some things may be off video because I'm not going to film myself for God knows how long, dodging lightning strikes and potentially messing it up right at the end. That's not going to be very fun to watch, but that's me sort of jumping ahead into things. So, now, to begin with, I want to make a few disclaimers about choices that I'm going to be making in this game. First of all is the protagonist's name. It's highly contested. Is it Tidus or Tidus? A lot of people say Tidus because there was a time where the voice actor has referred to him as Tidus, and in Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe, there was a scene where he's referred to as Tidus as well. There's other sources, again, I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, where he's referred to as Tidus, and personally, my preference is Tidus. Now, I know people watching this video might hate that, and I do apologise, but I've always referred to him as Tidus, and as his famous quote when you use the flee skill is "live and let live," that's how I'm going to opt for this Let's Play. I'm going to refer to him as Tidus. I'm really sorry if you don't like that, but that's just how I've always gone about it. And quite frankly, yeah, that's basically that. I'm going to be referring to him as Tidus during this playthrough. Hopefully you can deal with that. Next up, a very important topic as well, is sphere grid style. In the actual Let's Play, I'm going to be using the standard sphere grid. There's two, there's standard and expert, and I personally prefer standard. It's not a matter of difficulty. It's just the expert gives you a bit more flexibility and freedom, of course, with the sort of roles you go into. I actually like the characters having very defined roles. So for example, Tidus gets his sort of haste path with slow and delay tactics, Yuna being white mage, Lulu being black mage, Wakka having the status effects, Auron having his powerful power breaks and magic breaks and his strength build. Kimahri obviously is a bit of a flexible one, having a sort of more blue mage style role where he can sort of spec into different paths, so I've got my own ideas about what I'm going to do with Kimahri. Yeah, so standard sphere grid is going to be the main choice for this run. And finally, as I said, I'm playing the HD Remaster, and I'm going to be doing a modded playthrough. I've got some really nice texture mods that will make the game just look a fair bit more beautiful, so that's the goal with that as well. But there is something that is going to be a little bit contentious and may draw some ire. So one of the most important mods, well, it is the most important mod arguably, is the Special K mod, which gives the game a vast number of improvements and allows modding to be done in the first place. And very, very specifically, what this mod also allows is something called AP split to the rest of the party. And what that simply means is the way Final Fantasy X is normally played is that characters that only participate in battle will get the experience, get AP. If you switch characters out during the battle and they get an action, they also get AP, and to be honest, that's the way I normally play anyway. So generally I try to switch out my characters regularly so they all get a slice of the experience. What this mod does is essentially it allows you to save time. Again, I work full-time, I don't have a lot of time to necessarily put into a series like this, let alone to do a lot of grinding, which to be honest, I like grinding. I've done a lot of grinding in various games. I'd normally be happy to do it in this, but also that doesn't make for a very interesting video a lot of the time. So I am going to be running this with the AP split mod activated, just in the interest of saving time, and to be honest, as I said, I build up my characters fairly in unison anyway. This is just going to save on some of that grinding to make the videos a bit more interesting. Again, I know it's contentious, a lot of people will be going, "Oi Chris, you're a filthy fucking cheater." In this case, yes, but I'm sort of viewing it as a means to an end. It's not going to be that overpowered because I'm not going to like mega grind to be overpowered with everybody. This is just sort of keeping things in line for the sake of having more interesting and faster videos without you having to watch me sit and grind a particular area for a few hours per video. So that is my choice in that regard as well. Anyway, I'm going to be preparing the first video now. Hopefully you will enjoy this series. If you've never experienced Final Fantasy X before, it's a fantastic game, rich with lore and a really enticing story with some amazing characters. And as you can probably hear from the backing track at the moment, some incredible music. Some of my favourite Final Fantasy music ever comes from this series. Oh, that's a point, speaking of music. Another key thing with this remastered version is there is a remastered soundtrack and a original soundtrack. I'm going with the original soundtrack. I do like a lot of the remastered tracks, but I really like that nostalgia feeling that the original one gives me, so we're also running with the original soundtrack. Anyway, this Prelude video has lasted longer than I expected. I've talked about pretty much everything that I needed to, so thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in episode 1, and Hamza will be hopefully joining me for that one. He should be. And yeah, take care, guys. Thank you very much for watching.